So this is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and this is going to be the last of the introduction that we have into the Inyan of Pesach. This is looking at Pesach as strictly from the standpoint of view of the Mochim that are coming to Zeir Anpin during the Pesach Seder, where they come from and how they work. It's not the easiest shir, so I'm saying ahead of time that if this is recorded, so you could play it, if you're really interested in this, in what it's saying, you could play it over and over again, or at least 3 times, and then move on. That's the rule. So anyway, we're going to come over here. We're going to read down here at the bottom of this page. It's page Kuf Nun. So now, what are the energies? And the Mochim are really the energy of reality. So he says, Yitzias Mitzrayim, lo chutrak b'kabbalas parts of a yechidah, sh'al yedeka b'parts of a chaya, gevarn mizbatlim kol akali. So whatever unreality that we live in, all of that unreality, all of those illusions, all of those false ideas are already destroyed at this time by reaching the level of chaya. Now remember, we have 5 levels of light. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, and Yechida. Just by getting to Chaya, that's enough. So he said, parts of Chaya, Kavar, Mizbatim, Kol Akali. L'chei Pesach, Nigdal, Azah, Al Galu, Shendi, Dechayda, Shekibel, as parts of Chaya, Abba, V'im, Elohim. Now review the concept of Galu, Sheni. What it means is that it comes to be able to receive Mochim from Abba, V'im, Elohim. Abba V'im and Loya, really in simple terms, in the Yud Kei Vav Kei refers to the first letter Yud. So the Nimsa Shebepesach Mekabel Zecha Be'esrim Salamis, so that in Pesach Zal is receiving 20 Salamim. Now we have to explain what does he mean by Salamim. Salamim means lights that come in and surround Zeir Anpin. Shahari Bekol Bechinda Bechinda Yesh Mochin the Abba Mochin the Ima. So we always are getting Mochin both from Abba and Ima. Remember, they're always attached. So then he also gets the level of Yasef. That is, Zeir Anpin is able to grow up to that. He's going to explain that. So you're getting 5 Slomim. Slumming once again. It's the Tzadid Tzelem goes into Zeir Anpin. The Lama Tzelem is a Makif to Zeir Anpin, and it really corresponds to the concept of Chaya. And then the Mem Tzelem is the Makif on top of the Makif. So this is a tremendously bright life that can't go into Zeir Anpin, but surrounds Zeir Anpin. V'heim ne'kroim katnas rishon v'gadlus rishon me'yisrael sabat devuna. Whatever is received by Zeir Anpin from Yisrael Sabat Devuna is called Gadlus and Katnus Rishon. So Revukulim Yachad Heim Masara Partzufim. So if you count them up, there's an Arantki for Abba and Arantki for Nima. Shkol Echad Mechem Kol Nefesh Ruch Neshama Chai Yechida. Nimsa Shebekabel Lezacha Beyasas Chamishim Bechinos Chamishim Bechinos. So he says what? He's getting 50 Bechinos. It's not chamishim, it's chamisha bechinos. I know it's not. It's really that's the wrong word. Chamishim there. Za mekabel bechinos v'od hu mekabel ma'aba ve'ima hiloyin chamisha slomim. Also 5 slomim. Nefesh ruach chayin neshama yechida ma'aba v'chamesh slomim nefesh chay yechida me'ima. V'hem ne'kroim katnus v'gadlus sheni. So he says, what do we got? Asarat Salamim. So then you have Asarat Salamim. Shkol Echad Yesh Lo Narantki. Each one of them has its own Narantki. Now it comes out, let's say that maybe I'll take it back, what I said. It didn't make sense up there. I'm trying to see how we got to 50. So he has 50 is 10 times 5, or I don't know, 2 times 25. This is Shebeleo Pesach, so it comes out like this. They call Echad Yeshdo the Ranski V'chem Chamishi Bechinim Abba V'im Elohim. There are 50 Bechinas that come from Abba V'im Elohim. The Nimsa Beleo Pesach, Makabel Esrim Salomim. But on Beleo Pesach you get 20. Asara Mi Yisrael Saba V'Tavuna, V'osar ma'ava v'imar Eloim, and then 10 from Abba v'imar Eloim. Every time that a partzuf down below receives mochim from the partzuf that's up above it, Zav grows to that level, that height. So he's going to say more about this. So as Zah is getting mochim from Yasos, as parts of the neshama, and what does he get from Yasos? He gets the parts of neshama. Who nigdal ala chaz of the erikanpin. Then he grows to this level, which would be considered to be the chaz of erikanpin, to a very high level. That is the chest of erikanpin. Now when he gets from a higher parts of, as parts of a higher, who nigdal adagaron de eridariach, he goes all the way up to the throat of erikanpin. Is parts of a yechida, when Zer Anpin is able to receive for the parts of a yechida, which we're not saying this here, but happens really at Shavuos time. He grows up all to those heights. So Zer Anpin is able to grow to tremendous heights in order to receive the shefa from the Most High. Amnan. So he says like this. Now as we're saying this, so why is it that after Zer Anpin receives the level of Yasos, who oiled the kabel b'medregas Chaya, he's able to jump up and then go to the level of Chaya? Harei chelek ha'elyon shal Yasos, the upper level of Yasos, which would be the lamed and the mem to the tzelem, who makabo rak ba'ofen makif, they're only makifim. They don't actually go into Zer Anpin, and they're always surrounding him instead. So then how could he grow up to their height? And then how is it possible for him to grow up higher than Yasos? Because even their level that they're at, they haven't really been able to reach that. Because by them, it's like something that's in a way that there's benimius. How is it possible that Jabza, I think he means to jump over Yisrael Sabbat Tavuna and go all the way up to Abba V'Imar Elon V'Yihya Gavocha Yosem Yisrael Sabbat Tavuna, and so how could it be possible? That's like saying that you could take the Vav and have it jump over the Hay so they can get together with the Yud. So this is really the opposite of the Seder of the Partzufim. So in order to understand this Inyan, the parts of the neshama, so after Zav reaches this, receives these mochin, the mochin and neshama, he actually grows to the level of Yasos. Shahabre call Inyan Yasos, who shehem mushlomim benefesh ruach neshama. So Yasos is the neshama part. It has a neshama, which is inside of the ruach, which is inside of the nefesh. That's the level of Yasos. The parts of Achaya, Shu Abba v'Imar Eloyin, so parts of Achaya, which is Abba v'Imar Eloyin, in Yonu hu sheyesh lechem gam parts of Chaya. The Inyan is that they also have a Chaya in them besides the neshama. So you have a Chaya inside of the neshama, inside of the ruach, and inside of the nefesh. But the parts of the neshama, so now Gaza has received this parts of the neshama. He's actually at the level of Yasos. What happens is Yaakov Yasos has to go up too. Sha'ala of Allah. V'hu gam came shaharech kush other parts of echad b'meila other parts of elyon gam came, so that these were moving in tandem. So that the Zah comes up to the level of, he receives light from Neshama, he becomes like the level of Neshama. Well, what happened to Neshama? Neshama actually moved up to the level of Chaya. So he said, Gam came b'lechem parts of Yasuf, Ata yesh b'chem gam parts of Chaya v'nikroim Ata Abba v'Imar Eloyin. So b'chem mekabel Ata Chazal as parts of a Chaya Shalom. V'nimsa ma shamarno, so it comes out like this. What we said, Shechazal mekabel as parts of a Chaya Abba v'Imar Eloyin. That particular statement. Ain't a gavana mishnei partzufim shemalav, that he jumps up somehow to get 2 partsufim up. Ela b'kol ofen v'ofen hu b'kabel es emokim shadol mecha parts or shemechalav. It's always the same situation, that the ladder moves up, but the rung above is still there. So that therefore Zer Anpin is always receiving mochim from Yisrael Savat Tavuna. Ella Sha'ata Nikra parts of Zeh Abba V'Imar Eloim. But what's happened is that since Yisrael Savat Tavuna has moved up to the level of Abba V'Imar Eloim, so therefore it's as if he is Abba V'Imar Eloim. He is. He's equal with them. He's equal with that Medrega. What's a Medrega? The Medrega is the closeness that they have to Hashem Yisbarach. So as they move up the ladder, they get closer and closer to Kodesh Hashem Yisbarach. It doesn't make a difference in names. So he said, so now after receiving the Haya, they're all, the whole bunch is called Abba B'Imar Eloin. The parts of Shemachalav, Nikra Ata Yechida. Now the parts of that's going to be of Chaya, it's going to be called the parts of Yechida. That's the Makif El Elyon. As parts of Yechida, this is how it would go. That parts of that Zah is going to receive the parts of Yechida. Nimtza Sha'amnam Emesu Sha'af parts of the Neshama Kibel Miyasav, that the Neshama which he received the parts of the Neshama Miyasav. But also as a Chaya Abba V'Ima, but he also received the Chaya Abba V'Ima because everything is growing upwards. But as a Yechida the parts of Arich, and going all the way up to the top, the very center, the core of reality, which is Arich. But everything is always received from the parts of that. In other words, the rung on the ladder that's immediately up above him, even though the whole ladder is moving up. And it goes up one level after another. Now that is the introduction, and the next time we'll just read a little bit of it. We're going to get to the drushim that we actually have to try to put this into place. We're going to learn about this, the matzos, the 4 cups, the arbakosas, the karpas, the parsley, the gamma, the charosis, the inyane leil Pesach, all of that. We'll get to that next time. This is Baruch Fleischman.